Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a little bit of a fun experiment, sort of like imagining if I had to rebuild my entire wardrobe, where would I start or what would I prioritize? And I've spent a few days thinking about this now. I actually found it quite fascinating and really fun, but also very, very challenging. Like 10 items, it's not a lot, and it really made me kind of evaluate what do I wear on a daily basis, what really is a true hero item in my wardrobe. So I had a lot of fun. I'm going to go through all the pieces. I have 10 pieces that I would immediately repurchase if my wardrobe was gone tomorrow. And although I love all of these, I have a new reveal at the very end, which might be the piece that I am the most excited about, so stay tuned for that. Either way, all of these are great pieces that kind of make up the foundation of my style. They're classic, timeless, and most importantly, really, really versatile. But let's get started. I want to start with the sort of first everyday basic core pieces, and these might sound boring to some people, but to me, getting those pieces that you wear every single day, just on repeat, getting them really right, I think makes all the difference in how much fun it is to get dressed. I have filled my rail behind me here with the pieces that I absolutely love, but I'm having a lazy day, so I'm sitting down and we are going to go through it. The first piece is going to be no surprise. It is a white t-shirt, and I feel like this is the kind of staple that everyone talks about as sort of like, yes, the obvious piece you need in your wardrobe, and I feel like everyone owns one as well. But as I mentioned, I think getting the right one is all the difference in how it actually functions in your wardrobe. So getting the right material and the right cut really is everything when it comes to making those really, really ultra basic outfits look good. I have two favorite t-shirts. It used to be the Arket heavyweight t-shirt. It is completely opaque. It's a really heavy, beautiful, structured fabric. It is beautiful. It is a bit more oversized. I would either go for that one or possibly my COS clean cut t-shirt. I think this one has knocked the Arket one off the first place because there's just something magical about the cut of this t-shirt. It is a perfectly balanced silhouette. It fits me really well. I'm sure it's not going to be universal, but this is a pretty popular and well-loved t-shirt. And although the fabric isn't as opaque, it's still not see-through. It's a little bit lighter in the fabric, so I think this is perfect for summer as well. But I noticed that this is the one that I am gravitating towards the most, especially at the moment for the last couple of months really. So I think this is the one I would repurchase first, although both of them would probably go in the cart, let's be honest. We are continuing with pretty basic items, but the next piece that I would immediately run out and buy if I had to rebuild my wardrobe is a really good pair of straight leg denim. And not just any pair though, I would get something that I feel really good in. So you know this next pair of jeans needs absolutely no introduction. And I think this is what COS is so good at doing, making really elevated, beautiful silhouettes that still feel super wearable. So these are straight leg, but they're not too wide, they're not too clingy. I find them super flattering on the hips. If you have a kind of a similar body type to me and you find that jeans can make you look really sort of hippie and not a good way, then these are a beautiful silhouette for that. I think they're really elongating and sort of sleek as well. They really elevate all of my basic outfits, and some of these categories in this video I have sort of like general ideas of what I would repurchase, but for denim and particularly straight leg denim, this is my go-to. And this is one of those cases where depending on the season I would get these in a dark wash if it's sort of fall or winter, and I would get them in a lighter blue denim if it was spring or summer. That's just how I like to do denim, how I feel like my outfits look the most season appropriate and like enjoy them the most. All right, one more really casual everyday staple, although I'll be honest, a lot of these pieces are on the more casual side because I wanted them to be really versatile and super wearable and appropriate for my lifestyle. However, a great pair of sneakers is a must. It's something I would immediately repurchase. It's something I wear a lot and it's really comfortable. It goes with a lot of my outfits. However, I'm not really a sneaker person, if that makes sense. It's not my passion or my love, but I do think it can look really good in an outfit. I do quite like them. I think I would buy a pair of white sneakers first, like as my first go-to reaction, because it's something I've loved for years. I always think it looks really good. It's really chic. As long as you keep them white and clean, which these are a little bit old now, but if you have a really crisp white sneaker, I think think it really just adds so much to an outfit. It's a bit high maintenance, but I always think that it's worth it. And my absolute favorite white sneaker are the Vejas. I think these are the Campos. I'll link them down below either way. I've talked about these so much over years. This is my second pair now, and I'm actually due for an update. I think they are pretty worn. I have not been gentle on these shoes, and I just think they are such beautiful quality. I really love them because they are just so comfortable. It is my go-to sneaker. It has been for years now. And if you, like me, are a bit like not that much into a sneaker, if it's not your favorite but you still want it in your wardrobe, I feel like these are such a good one. And honestly, I have walked for full days in these on end, on repeat, and they have held up so beautifully and they have been comfortable all day. And as I've mentioned, these are a little bit worn at this point, so I think I'm going to be going for my third pair come spring. It's just a really nice ritual to get a pair of white sneakers for spring. It makes me really happy. I don't know what it is, but I'm definitely going to wait and wear my other pair of sneakers just until then. Moving on, I would definitely want to add some texture, some layers, some print, some interest, although I still want the pieces to be really wearable and function for most of my day-to-day life. So the first thing I would run and purchase, and this is actually one of my newer finds, however it's very much in line with my style and I do have variations on this, but there is a reason I would grab this exact one. This is a cotton striped knit top, and I feel like this is working so well with all the neutrals. It's adding a bit more interest and obviously pattern, but I feel like stripes are so easy to style and they don't scream too much statement, so they're really easy to repeat wear. And this knit jumper is in 100% cotton, so it's really sort of breathable, perfect for year round really. I love that this is so beautiful and casual with a pair of jeans, but it still looks really smart underneath a blazer or a trench coat. And the kind of relaxed boxy fit of this is still really beautiful. You can unbutton these to have a more feminine neckline and detail to it. I just think that the silhouette of it keeps things quite modern and contemporary looking rather than too preppy, if that makes sense. So I think it is such a good jumper, one that I've gotten a ton of use out of even in the short time that I've had it. A striped knit is just one of those pieces that adds personality and interest without being too over the top. I would 100% need it, and stripes are my absolute go-to. They just always have been. It's still really classic, but it just breaks up the neutrals and keeps things from looking too flat and basic, I think. Okay, for the next piece, I would want a layering piece, and as we're trying to keep this as seasonless as possible, sort of like what would I wear year round. However, I live in Scandinavia, and in Scandinavia we need knitwear year round. That's just a fact. Although for summer it's beautiful to have something lighter like the cotton knit that I showed you. As I sat down and I thought through what would I repurchase, what would I buy immediately, and one of the absolute top pieces I would repurchase is this cardigan right here. And I know you've seen it a lot because I have worn it a ton. It is a merino wool cardigan, and I think for me a cardigan is a really good knitwear piece that I would personally add as one of my first knitwear pieces because it is so incredibly versatile. For like summer, early fall or spring even, it can function as the outerwear layer for the day. But obviously for winter it's a gorgeous piece to wear even just as a jumper, button up like this. I wear it a lot like this. I play around with buttoning it sort of up or down a little bit, and I've also talked a lot about how I wear this layer just over my shoulders. And for me this particular cardigan is probably one of the best ones I have ever bought, if not the best one. It is just so good. It's in 100% merino wool, so it's super cozy and comfortable, and I was really surprised at how kind of well priced this was as well. And I think this one is such a beautiful cut, as I already talked about COS being really good at creating those super elevated silhouettes. So this one is definitely one of my best finds all year and something I would immediately repurchase if it went missing. As I mentioned, I absolutely love stripes. It's definitely one of my kind of like core pieces of my style. I think I'm kind of realizing that if I had to boil my style down to just a few outfits, a striped shirt would be one of them, so I had to include it. And again, this is another piece I have shown so much, but I'm not going to apologize because it's that good. I have a striped shirt like this. I absolutely love this one. I feel like it is so flattering despite being really oversized and quite long. And my favorite part is the colorway for this, the white, ecru and red stripes. I just think it is so effortless. It adds such a kind of cool touch to the outfits that feels both elevated and a bit more laid back. I think it is the perfect combination, and it is by far one of my favorite pieces that I bought this year. And for me, this is one of those pieces that is going to work beautifully year round, and I would absolutely buy it as one of the core pieces to rebuild my wardrobe. For summer, this is beautiful to wear over a tank top or even a bralette as sort of a light layering piece. It's 100% cotton, so it's going to be really breathable and super comfortable, just protect you from the sun essentially, not going to add a ton of heat during the summertime. But obviously for both a spring and a fall, it's a gorgeous shirt, like a key piece, and it works for winter as well. The colorway is obviously really seasonless, and it's a great piece that works for year round. So either way, I feel like a cotton shirt is like a great backbone of a wardrobe, really. It works with so many different things. However, for me, I've noticed that although the white cotton shirt is often what is sort of promoted as your most basic versatile staple, I genuinely feel like I get more wear out of my striped ones. They lean a bit more casual and, as I said, laid back, effortless, so I just get way more wear out of them. I feel way more myself in them. It definitely is what I would add first. I might even add like 2 striped shirts before I add a white one to the mix. The next piece for me would be a structured layering piece, and for me it's just going to be a blazer. I absolutely love them. I have since forever. I think it is such a beautiful piece that goes with so many different things. It's really easy to wear with sort of like tailored trousers, other tailored pieces obviously. I think it is one of my favorite ways to wear it is over a dress. I think it is so beautiful. There is something about the tailored lines of a blazer that I think works with most outfits, really. It just is so gorgeous. For me, the key is just to have something that isn't too oversized and slouchy, not too statementy one way or another, and obviously not too fitted either, because I find them more difficult to style. So something that is straight to slightly more oversized. And I'm going to be super annoying here and pull out my absolute favorite blazer, and this is no longer sold. I bought this from And Other Stories probably 4 or 5 years ago. Absolutely love it. As you can see, it is well loved at this point. It is still holding up, the structure is still there, but it is, like, you can tell on the fabric that this is worn so much. This one has a slight pinstripe to it as well. As I already mentioned, I do love my stripes. So this one just has a little bit of interest, but it's not clashing with anything. It's still super easy to wear. I just think that a really great blazer adds professionalism without looking stiff. It feels really modern when you have the right cut of it as well. You can dress up a t-shirt, you can layer it with dresses and denim. It just goes with everything. I feel like if I'm going out to dinner in the evening during the summertime, this one is so good because it just has the perfect amount of warmth. It's still super breathable, it looks really good, and it's not overly warm. Whenever I need to feel instantly pulled together, I always reach for a blazer. I think it is one of the easiest ways of making basics look really well thought out. Now, I also have a dress, and I love this dress, and I would definitely put this on the list of dresses I would repurchase. Again, this color is sold out though, but a really great dress that can be dressed up or down. I think I would prioritize that pretty heavily. Like, it can't just be any dress. It can't just be any fancy sparkly shiny dress. And the reason I've picked this one, I talked about this even in my video last year about the best purchases of 2024, and here I am a year later still loving it. And this is a bias cut dress, and it is also from And Other Stories. They still make this model, they just don't do this color anymore, which I think is a real shame because hello, it is beautiful. The fabric is not too thin, like it has a nice weight to it, but for me the magic is all about the silhouette of the dress, how it fits. There's nothing too intense about this dress, which is why I think it works so well. I can pair knitwear on top of it. I do wear it with a blazer that I showed you for something that feels beautiful for like dinner at night. It is just such a versatile piece. It just feels easier to repeat wear, and the bias cut of this means that it just sits so well. It has a tiny bit of stretch, which my hips are very thankful for when it comes to this dress. They also do it in black, which I think is a great version for a little black dress type of thing. It just is a nice, more feminine balance to all of the tailored and casual pieces I have. Even in a really sort of like minimal function first type of rebuilding of my wardrobe, I still want something that feels feminine and something that feels a little bit more special, and I think the fabric, the color, the cut of this does all of that beautifully. It's something I can get so much wear out of by layering up or dressing it up or down, or I can also wear it just on its own, and it is just super versatile. Now, the last two items I would prioritize would be sort of finishing touches. I've already done shoes, and honestly, this is so difficult to just pick 10 items, but I would make sure that the other accessories I have really do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to accessorizing and really giving my outfits a sort of like bit more of a stylish, elevated touch, just making them look a little bit more put together. I would get a belt. And I was really sort of going back and forth on this and sort of questioning myself, would I buy one of my sort of logo designer belts again? Because I do have a couple of them. I do really love them. I do wear them a lot. I do think that a logo buckle, maybe we're moving away from that a little bit, but a statement buckle can really do a lot for an outfit. It's just how we work. It makes the outfit look like, it can make the whole outfit look designer. I think especially my Valentino belt, when I pair that on top of a coat, the coat looks 10 times more expensive, just how it works. However, I ended up going with this. This is a belt from COS, it's in leather, and I think the reason I went with this is my thinking was, if I am repurchasing my entire wardrobe 10 pieces at a time, then I don't think a belt is where I would spend the most money to begin with. When you get such great quality for the money at something a little bit less expensive. With the caveat that I'm not entirely sure this is what I would choose. I guess we'll never know. Hopefully we'll never know. But this belt right here, I bought last year from COS. I'm not sure they do this exact one, but they do so many beautiful ones. They've done, this season I've seen one with an oval buckle. My goodness, it is beautiful. Absolutely love it. And they do this really gorgeous leather. The leather quality has held up really, really well. The belt looks pretty much new and I have worn it a fair bit. I just think that a really, really good belt, not any belt, not a cheap belt that peels, but something that is really good, can elevate those really basic looks. It's also really practical if your jeans don't stay up, or if you want to belt a coat or a blazer even. I just think it is such a gorgeous, stunning piece that really helps kind of put the finishing touches on your outfit. It really defines the waist and just adds a little bit of something. Honestly, I'm never not amazed by how much a belt can do if an outfit feels a bit meh or unfinished. I remember when I started rebuilding my wardrobe kind of from being a really, really poor student, and I started with one really great belt and I wore that to death. I wore it with absolutely everything and it just worked beautifully. I got great cost per wear out of it, even though it was a more expensive belt. So I do feel like it's a place where I could justify spending more, but also if you don't have to, either way. We're going to move on to the very last item, and this is the one I am the most excited to share because it is a new piece. Another sort of like finishing touch. It's an accessory. It's a handbag. It's my favorite category in any wardrobe. And to be honest, even the thought of having to restart my handbag collection all over just makes my heart beat faster, so we're not going to think about that. I'm honestly not even entirely sure where I would start. I know I would go for something really high quality, but not overly super expensive, and I would go for something that I could get a lot of wear out of, but something that also really made me happy every time I looked at it, so I wouldn't want to sacrifice too much style just to have the right function, because it would be really important to me to have something I really, really love. And I think a handbag is one of those, at least it is for me. I know people tend to be either handbag or shoe people, but for me a handbag is one of those pieces that can absolutely transform an outfit. I think it is a piece that you can also wear every single day. You don't need a ton of them. Maybe even just one really good one can almost complete a wardrobe. And for me, I would go with something that feels like kind of on the edge of being a little bit of a statement piece, but still being timeless and classic enough that I can wear it every single day, and definitely I would go for a leather piece. As I already mentioned, I don't think I could narrow it down and pick just one, honestly. I find it really, really difficult, and I don't have an interest in doing that. But I can say that if I were to rebuild my wardrobe, I would definitely, like, I don't even need to think about it. I know I would start at Coach. They just have that beautiful timeless quality and style that doesn't really age in a way, and it still feels really exciting. So I have an example to show you, and this one just came in, so I'm super excited and I need to share it with someone. So thank you for being here and letting me share this with you. My absolute newest beautiful piece. I am so excited. So this is the Coach Brooke chain flap bag, and it is in suede, and I waited so long for this particular tan shade to come back into stock. I absolutely love it. It already feels like something I would immediately repurchase again, so I felt like it fit naturally into this video, even though it is only a few days old. Because of the suede and the size, it's not necessarily like an everyday workhorse, and I also think that despite it maybe not being the most functional bag because it is in suede, I think it's equally important to have a handbag that makes you smile when you wear it, especially when you narrow down the collection, and especially if I were to restart the entire thing from scratch. I would really value something that makes me smile and makes me really excited to put together outfits with. So with that, we are through all of the items. I'd love to hear what you think. This was kind of more challenging than I thought it would be, and even now I'm sitting here like I would add this, what about that? So it's a little bit like it's tough, but I really know that all of these outfits would be a really, really solid start if I had to rebuild my wardrobe. And yeah, I'd love to hear what your picks would be if this is something you have considered for your own wardrobe. And as always, if you're not yet subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you would consider doing so. You'll see lots more videos like this, and you know, it's free, it really helps me out. Either way, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you very shortly in the next one. Maybe one of these. Bye!